The colony's distress beacon cut through the silence of deep space like a knife, its urgent pulses carrying a story of destruction and desperation. New Horizons Settlement, a terraformed outpost on the edge of human-claimed space, had been more than just another frontier settlement. It represented hope, a testament to humanity's relentless drive to expand beyond Earth's boundaries. Captain Elena Rodriguez studied the incoming transmission, her weathered hands gripping the edge of the holographic display. The images were brutal in their clarity. Entire habitat complexes reduced to smoldering ruins, agricultural domes shattered like broken glass, and the telltale energy signatures of Zarkith weapons scoring the landscape. 30,000 colonists. Gone. Confirmed the casualty reports. She spoke softly to her communications officer, her voice a controlled whisper that betrayed years of military discipline. Lieutenant Marcus Chen's fingers danced across the quantum interface, pulling apart layers of encrypted data. His face grew increasingly pale with each passing moment. Confirmed, Captain. 32,417 confirmed casualties, approximately 800 survivors in scattered emergency shelters. The command center of the Lunar Defense Complex hummed with a tension that felt almost alive. Technicians and strategists moved with a precision born of years of preparation, their movements synchronized like a complex mechanical organism. Massive holographic displays flickered with star charts, weapon systems diagnostics, and real-time intelligence feeds from across human-controlled space. Elena closed her eyes for a moment. New Horizon wasn't just another colony. It had been her first assignment after graduating from the Interstellar Defense Academy. She knew every dome, every agricultural sector, every strategic point of that settlement. The memories flooded back, the young families who had volunteered to transform a harsh, uninhabitable world into a living, breathing human outpost. Transmission analysis complete. Lieutenant Chen interrupted her thoughts. The Zarkith didn't just attack. They executed a precision strike designed to maximize civilian casualties while destroying our terraforming infrastructure. A holographic representation of the Zarkith attack emerged, a clinical, almost surgical dismantling of the colony's defenses. The alien civilization had clearly believed they were dealing with a helpless frontier settlement. They had miscalculated spectacularly. Deep beneath the Lunar Defense Complex, strategic planning teams had been preparing for this moment for decades. The attack on New Horizon wasn't just an isolated incident. It was the culmination of years of systematic provocations by the Galactic Concordance against human settlements. Dr. Rebecca Okoye, the chief strategic analyst, stepped forward. Her augmented neural interface allowed her to process information at speeds that would make traditional computers seem obsolete. "This isn't a random attack," she said, her voice calm and analytical. "The Zarkith are testing our response capabilities. They believe we're still a primitive species confined to our solar system." Elena's lips curled into the slightest hint of a smile. The Zarkith would soon learn otherwise. The defense complex had been preparing for this moment. Classified research projects, hidden technological developments, and strategic contingency plans were about to be unleashed. The U.S. Prometheus, a weapon system so advanced it existed only in whispered rumors and classified documents, was about to make its first true appearance. "Initiate Protocol Midnight Horizon," Elena commanded. The word sent an electric charge through the command center. Protocol Midnight Horizon wasn't just a military response. It was humanity's declaration of true potential. Lieutenant Chen looked up, a mix of excitement and apprehension in his eyes. "All systems are go, Captain. The Prometheus is ready for deployment." Outside the complex, the stark lunar landscape remained unchanged. But within these walls, the first stages of a response were taking shape, a response that would reshape humanity's position in the galaxy forever. The Zarkith believed they were dealing with a weak, scattered species. They were about to learn the true meaning of human resilience, innovation, and determination. The research facility beneath the Martian surface looked like nothing more than a geological research station from the outside. Kilometers of reinforced rock and advanced camouflage technologies hid the most sophisticated technological development center in human history. Dr. Akira Chen moved between holographic displays, her fingers leaving trails of light as she manipulated complex quantum algorithms. "Final neural network integration in progress," she muttered, more to herself than to the team of engineers surrounding her. The U.S. Prometheus was more than a warship. It was the culmination of humanity's most closely guarded scientific achievements. Nearby, Dr. Michael Santos reviewed the ship's adaptive combat systems. Generations of military strategists and technological innovators had contributed to this moment. The facility hummed with decades of collected knowledge, compressed into a single revolutionary platform. Quantum entanglement communication array showing 99.998% synchronization, called out Dr. Elena Reyes, her voice cutting through the ambient technological noise. "We're approaching complete system integration." The Prometheus represented a quantum leap beyond conventional space warfare technologies. Its neural network could process combat scenarios faster than entire alien fleet command centers. Adaptive armor that could reconfigure at the molecular level. Weapon systems that could manipulate fundamental physical principles. Each system was a breakthrough that would rewrite the understanding of space combat. Dr. Chen remembered the early days of the project, how they had begun with seemingly impossible challenges, how each breakthrough had come at the cost of countless sleepless nights, failed experiments, and near impossible technological hurdles. "Memory transfer complete," announced a computer interface with clinical precision. The ship's artificial intelligence was more than a simple combat algorithm. It was a learning system that could adapt, predict, and respond to complex combat scenarios with unprecedented accuracy. Michael Santos approached the primary development chamber. The Prometheus sat suspended in a massive containment field, its sleek form barely contained by the facility's massive infrastructure. From a distance, it looked more like a living organism than a traditional spacecraft. Quantum processors pulsed like neural networks. Adaptive hull plates shifted and realigned even in standby mode. "The Zarkith won't know what hit them," Santos muttered, a rare moment of personal satisfaction breaking through his professional demeanor. The ship's development had been a global effort. Scientists and engineers from every corner of human-controlled space had contributed pieces to this technological puzzle. Quantum researchers from Japan, materials engineers from Brazil, artificial intelligence specialists from Nigeria, propulsion experts from India. Each contribution was a thread in a complex tapestry of human innovation. Dr. Chen pulled up the final systems diagnostic. The numbers were beyond impressive. They were revolutionary. The Prometheus could sustain itself in deep space for decades. Its self-repair capabilities could reconstruct critical systems using molecular-level fabrication. Weapon systems that could adapt to any potential combat scenario faster than an enemy could comprehend. "System check complete," the facility's main computer announced. "U.S. Prometheus is mission-ready." A moment of silence fell over the research team. They understood the magnitude of what they had created. This wasn't just a weapon. It was a statement, a declaration of humanity's potential. Outside the facility, Mars continued its silent rotation. Red dust storms occasionally swept across the barren landscape, but beneath the surface, humanity had created something that would change the course of interstellar relations forever. Dr. Rice looked at her colleagues. "We're ready," she said simply. The Prometheus began to power up. Its systems came online with a precision that seemed almost alive. Quantum processors synchronized. Adaptive combat algorithms initialized. Faster-than-light drive systems hummed with potential energy. Humanity was about to show the galaxy exactly what it was capable of achieving. The fabric of space itself seemed to ripple as the U.S. Prometheus emerged from faster-than-light travel. Navigation screens across the bridge flickered with quantum-computed precision, each display showing multiple potential combat scenarios calculated in microseconds. Captain Elena Rodriguez gripped the command chair, her eyes reflecting the holographic data streams surrounding her. The Zarkith fleet hung before them like a mechanical graveyard, a collection of massive warships that had, until moments ago, believed themselves invincible. Stealth systems at maximum, Lieutenant Marcus Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the quantum interface. We're registering 0 external detection signatures. The bridge crew moved with a synchronicity that bordered on telepathic. Years of joint training, advanced neural interfaces, and a shared purpose created a unified organism of human potential. Each team member was an extension of the ship's capabilities, their augmented minds working in perfect harmony with the Prometheus's adaptive combat systems. Enemy fleet composition. Rodriguez commanded. Full tactical breakdown. Holographic representations of the Zarkith ships materialize around them. 12 heavy cruisers, 27 support vessels, a defensive formation that had decimated countless civilizations. Their energy signatures pulsed with a cold, mechanical precision, weapons capable of glassing entire planetary surfaces. They would never see the Prometheus coming. Quantum targeting systems online, announced Commander Sarah Williams from the weapons station. Adaptive combat algorithms are mapping potential engagement vectors. The ship's artificial intelligence was more than a simple combat program. It was a living strategic entity, processing millions of potential combat scenarios each second. Where traditional military systems would choose the most statistically probable approach, the Prometheus's AI sought the most elegantly destructive solution. First contact happened in less than 3 milliseconds. The Prometheus's weapon systems activated like a predator unleashed. Quantum-entangled particle beams struck with impossible precision. Each beam found the most critical vulnerabilities in the Zarkith ships: reactor cores, primary communication nodes, critical structural intersections. Entire capital ships disappeared in cascading explosions that rewrote the understanding of space combat. Targeting complete, the ship's AI reported in a voice devoid of emotion. 98% fleet neutralization achieved. The remaining Zarkith vessels scrambled, their defensive protocols collapsing under the weight of technological superiority they could not comprehend. Adaptive weapon systems danced between enemy defenses, finding impossible angles of attack. Quantum communication networks allowed the Prometheus to predict and counter every defensive maneuver before the enemy could even conceive of the action. Captain Rodriguez watched the engagement with a clinical detachment. This was more than a military response. This was a message written in the language of physics and determination. Secondary targeting systems engaging, Chen reported, cleaning up remaining defensive positions. The final Zarkith ships erupted in silent explosions. Space itself seemed to tremble with the force of human technological innovation. Where once a massive alien fleet had existed, now only expanding clouds of debris remained. Total engagement time. Williams called out. 2 minutes, 17 seconds. The bridge crew remained silent. They understood the magnitude of what had just occurred. This was not just a battle. This was humanity's declaration of true potential. Quantum communication networks would already be transmitting the engagement data across the galaxy. Every civilization in the Galactic Concordance would soon understand that humanity was no longer a species to be dismissed or underestimated. Tactical analysis complete, the ship's AI reported. 0 casualties. Mission objectives achieved. Captain Rodriguez allowed herself the slightest hint of a smile. The Zarkith had believed they were dealing with a primitive, scattered species. They had just learned the true meaning of human resilience and innovation. The Prometheus hung in space, a silent monument to human potential. Invisible. Deadly. Waiting. The communication networks of the Galactic Concordance exploded with a cascade of data that defied comprehension. Intelligence analysts across multiple star systems found themselves watching and rewatching the engagement footage, searching for explanations that seemed to defy the laws of known physics. On the crystalline data world of Nexus Prime, the central intelligence hub of the Concordance, massive computation arrays processed the incoming information. Holographic displays flickered with the destruction of the Zarkith fleet, each replay revealing new layers of technological complexity that seemed impossible. Senior analyst Zara Lin of the Quantum Intelligence Division stood motionless, her multifaceted eyes absorbing every microscopic detail. The human vessel had not just defeated an advanced fleet. It had done so with a level of strategic and technological superiority that challenged everything the Concordance understood about technological development. Recompile the engagement data, she commanded her team of computational specialists. Cross-reference with every known technological database. Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out in intelligence centers of various alien civilizations. The Krell-Theory Diplomatic Corps scrambled to understand the implications. The scientific academies of the Quantum Collective began emergency research sessions. Each civilization saw something different in the footage, but all saw a fundamental shift in the galactic power dynamic. On Earth, within the secure communication centers of the Lunar Defense Complex, teams of strategists watched the alien response unfold in real time. Every communication, every data stream, every quantum encrypted transmission was meticulously analyzed. "They're in complete shock," Dr. Rebecca Okoye noted, studying the complex data patterns. The Zarkith fleet was considered the most technologically advanced military force in the Concordance, destroyed in under 3 minutes by a single human vessel. Lieutenant Marcus Chen pulled up comparative technological assessments. The gap between human technology and what the Concordance believed possible was staggering. Quantum communication systems that could predict and counter defensive maneuvers. Adaptive combat algorithms that function more like living intelligences than traditional computer systems. Weapon technologies that seem to manipulate fundamental physical principles. On the diplomatic space station orbiting the neutral world of Harmony, representatives from hundreds of alien civilizations began emergency sessions. The human attack had done more than destroy a fleet. It had shattered long-held beliefs about humanity's technological capabilities. "We have underestimated them," announced Krelvor, the primary diplomatic representative of the Quantum Collective. His translucent form shimmered with complex emotional algorithms. The humans possess technological capabilities that suggest decades, perhaps centuries, of hidden development. Intelligence reports began to circulate. The U.S. Prometheus was not an isolated incident. Subtle evidence suggested a long-term, carefully orchestrated technological development program that had remained completely hidden from galactic observation. Quantum communication networks carried whispers of fear, respect, and incredulity. How could a species confined to a single solar system develop such advanced technologies? What other capabilities might they be hiding? Dr. Okoye allowed herself a subtle smile. The response was precisely what human strategic planners had anticipated. Not just a military engagement, but a complete reshaping of galactic perception. "They're recalculating everything," she told Captain Rodriguez during a secure quantum communication. "Every diplomatic model, every technological assessment, every strategic projection involving human civilization is being completely rewritten." The engagement had become more than a military action. It was a statement, a declaration that humanity would no longer accept marginalization, that they were a technological force to be reckoned with. Across countless worlds, in countless languages, a single question began to emerge. Who are the humans, and what else are they capable of? The galaxy held its collective breath, waiting for the next move. The U.S. Prometheus moved through contested space like a phantom, its quantum navigation systems rendering traditional tracking methods obsolete. Captain Elena Rodriguez studied the holographic star charts, each potential route a complex mathematical symphony of strategic possibilities. "Incoming quantum communication," Lieutenant Marcus Chen announced, "encrypted through our deep space communication relays." The message came from deep within human intelligence networks, a carefully orchestrated plan that had been decades in the making. The destruction of the Zarkith fleet was more than a military response. It was the first movement in a complex diplomatic composition. Dr. Rebecca Okoye's strategic analysis appeared on the bridge's primary display. Her annotated report revealed layers of calculation that went far beyond simple military engagement. Each potential target, each strategic approach, had been analyzed through thousands of predictive models. "We're not just responding," Rodriguez muttered to her executive officer, Commander Sarah Williams. "We're conducting a symphonic dismantling of the Galactic Concordance's perception of humanity." The Prometheus began its next phase of operations. Quantum communication networks allowed the ship to simultaneously exist in multiple strategic contexts. It could engage potential threats, gather intelligence, and manipulate diplomatic channels, all while remaining virtually undetectable. Targeted strikes began to appear across multiple star systems. Not massive destructions, but precise, surgical interventions that exposed critical vulnerabilities in the Concordance's defensive and diplomatic infrastructure. Each action was a carefully placed chess piece designed to create maximum strategic uncertainty. A communication relay near the Krell-Thuri border suddenly went dark. A research station in the Quantum Collective's outer territories experienced a complete systems failure. Intelligence-gathering nodes belonging to 3 separate alien civilizations found themselves compromised, not destroyed, but subtly altered to leak carefully curated information. "Adaptive Information Warfare Protocol is online," Chen reported. The ship's artificial intelligence was creating a narrative as much as it was conducting military operations. Each intervention was designed to communicate a specific message about human capabilities. The bridge crew worked with a precision that bordered on musical composition. Each action, each decision, was part of a larger strategic symphony. They were not just fighting a war, they were rewriting the fundamental understanding of interstellar conflict. "Target acquisition complete," the ship's AI announced. "Probability of desired strategic outcomes, 97.3%. Commander Williams reviewed the developing situation. The human strategy went beyond traditional military doctrine. They were using information, technology, and strategic positioning to create a form of warfare that was more about perception than destruction. "We're changing the entire conversation," Rodriguez observed, watching the holographic displays shift and dance with potential scenarios. Not through brute force, but through strategic complexity. The Prometheus moved between star systems like a quantum ghost. Traditional defensive systems couldn't track it. Diplomatic intelligence networks found themselves chasing shadows. Each intervention was precisely calculated to create maximum strategic uncertainty. Quantum communication networks carried whispers of human technological superiority. Not loud declarations, but subtle hints that suggested capabilities far beyond what any civilization had imagined. The message was clear. Humanity was not just a player in the galactic stage. They were about to become the primary composers of the next movement. Dr. Okoye's strategic analysis continued to flow through the ship's systems. Each potential scenario was analyzed, each diplomatic channel subtly manipulated. The goal was not total destruction, but a complete reshaping of galactic power dynamics. Diplomatic pressure points identified, the ship's AI reported. Initiating strategic communication protocols. The bridge crew understood the magnitude of their mission. This was more than a military operation. This was a fundamental restructuring of how the galaxy understood human potential. As the Prometheus continued its strategic ballet, one thing became increasingly clear. The rules of interstellar engagement had just been completely rewritten. The galaxy watched, uncertain and increasingly wary of this new player that moved with a complexity beyond comprehension. The diplomatic space station orbiting the neutral world of Harmony had never witnessed such tension. Representatives from across the Galactic Concordance assembled in the Grand Circular Chamber, their various physiological forms a testament to the diversity of galactic civilization. Holographic displays flickered with combat footage, strategic analyses, and communication logs that told a story of human technological supremacy. Ambassador Michael Okonkwo stood at the center of the chamber, a single human figure surrounded by a sea of alien diplomats. His dark skin contrasted sharply with the pale, luminescent walls. No elaborate diplomatic robes, no technological augmentations, just a crisp diplomatic uniform and an expression of absolute calm. The Zarkith attack on the New Horizon colony was an unprovoked act of aggression. Okonkwo began, his voice clear and measured. 32,000 civilian lives were lost. We are here to discuss reparations and a fundamental restructuring of interstellar diplomatic protocols. Krelvor, the primary diplomatic representative of the quantum collective, shifted uncomfortably. His translucent form rippled with complex emotional algorithms. The human response far exceeds any proportional military action, he protested. The complete destruction of the Zarkith fleet suggests capabilities that violate multiple galactic treaties. A ripple of murmurs passed through the chamber. Each diplomatic representative wrestled with a fundamental shift in understanding. The humans were no longer a marginalized species to be dismissed or controlled. Let me be absolutely clear, Ambassador Okonkwo continued. Humanity is presenting a simple set of conditions: full recognition of our sovereignty, equal diplomatic standing, comprehensive reparations for the attacked colony, and a complete investigation into the systematic marginalization of human settlements. The holographic displays began to shift. Detailed records appeared, centuries of diplomatic communications, strategic manipulations, and systemic barriers that had kept humanity confined and overlooked. Each piece of evidence was meticulously documented, leaving no room for diplomatic maneuvering. Zeralin of the Quantum Intelligence Division studied the data streams. The human approach was unlike any diplomatic strategy she had encountered. Not an emotional outburst, not a show of military might, but a calculated, precise dismantling of existing power structures. The technological capabilities demonstrated, announced the Krell Theory senior diplomat, suggest decades of hidden technological development. How is this possible? Ambassador Okonkwo allowed himself the slightest smile. We have always been more than what you chose to see. The chamber fell silent. The holographic displays continued to cycle through evidence. Technological breakthroughs, strategic developments, a civilization that had been systematically underestimated and marginalized, now presenting itself as a full galactic power. Behind the scenes, quantum communication networks buzzed with additional layers of communication. The U.S. Prometheus maintained a subtle presence, its advanced systems monitoring every microscopic diplomatic interaction. Not as a threat, but as a silent guarantor of human interests. These conditions are non-negotiable, Okonkwo stated. His voice carried the weight of a civilization that had been pushed to the brink and had found its strength. Humanity will no longer accept second-class status in the galactic community. The diplomatic representatives understood the subtext. This was not a request. This was a declaration. Krelvor's emotional algorithms struggled to process the situation. The humans had transformed a potential conflict into a comprehensive diplomatic restructuring. They weren't seeking revenge. They were seeking fundamental change. We require an immediate response, Ambassador Okonkwo concluded. The galaxy has an opportunity to embrace a new era of cooperation, or face the consequences of continued obstruction. The chamber remained suspended in a moment of absolute silence. Centuries of established galactic power dynamics hung in the balance. Humanity had just rewritten the rules of interstellar diplomacy. The research facility on Mars pulsed with an energy that defied conventional understanding. Dr. Akira Chen stood before a massive holographic display, revealing layers of technological capabilities that would reshape the galaxy's comprehension of human innovation. Quantum communication networks, she explained to the assembled galactic representatives, are only the beginning. The demonstration hall had been carefully prepared. Representatives from multiple alien civilizations sat, or suspended or floated, in a semicircle, their sensory organs focused on the human presentation. Each was fitted with advanced translation and comprehension interfaces, allowing them to process the flood of information. Dr. Michael Santos activated the first demonstration. A series of molecular structures appeared, dancing with impossible complexity. Adaptive nano-repair systems, he explained, capable of reconstructing entire ship sections at the molecular level. Not just repairs, but dynamic reconfiguration based on environmental challenges. The holographic display showed microscopic nanobots reorganizing complex structures, adapting to damage, environmental pressures, and strategic requirements in real time. Where other civilizations saw repair, humans had developed a living, thinking technological ecosystem. Dr. Elena Reyes stepped forward with the next revelation: quantum communication networks that can transmit information across impossible distances, not just faster than light communication, but communication that exists simultaneously across multiple quantum states. The display shifted, showing complex quantum entanglement networks that seemed to defy the fundamental laws of physics. Information moved not in linear pathways, but in complex, multidimensional patterns that suggested a complete reimagining of communication technology. Our weapon systems, continued Santos, can manipulate fundamental physical laws at the quantum level. The demonstration showed weapon technologies that could alter gravitational fields, manipulate energy states, and create localized zones where traditional physics simply ceased to operate. It was not just advanced technology. It was a fundamental challenge to the understanding of physical reality. Representatives from the quantum collective found themselves struggling to process the implications. The Krell-Ferry diplomatic team's sensory appendages trembled with a mix of fear and profound respect. Dr. Chen revealed the final, most shocking demonstration: adaptive artificial intelligence systems that learn and evolve faster than any known computational method. The ship's artificial intelligence began to interact with the assembled representatives, not through traditional communication interfaces, but through complex quantum interactions that suggested a form of intelligence beyond traditional understanding. It could simulate diplomatic scenarios, predict technological challenges, and adapt in ways that seemed almost organic. This is not just technology, Dr. Rice explained. This is a living, evolving technological ecosystem. Behind the presentations, the U.S. Prometheus hung in a specially constructed observation chamber. Its hull shifted and realigned subtly, even in standby mode. Quantum processors pulsed like a living nervous system. This was not a machine. This was a technological organism. The galactic representatives began to understand the true magnitude of human potential. It was not just about military superiority or technological advancement. Humanity had developed an entirely new paradigm of technological interaction with the universe. We are presenting these capabilities, Ambassador Michael Okonkwo said, joining the scientific team, not as a threat, but as an invitation to a new form of galactic cooperation. The subtext was clear. Humanity was offering a partnership, but it was a partnership on equal terms. Dr. Santos showed the final demonstration, a comprehensive overview of human technological development. Decades of hidden research, carefully cultivated innovations, a civilization that had been systematically underestimated, now revealing its true potential. The Krell-Ferry representative's communication interface struggled to process the information. How is this possible? It finally asked. Ambassador Okonkwo's response was simple and profound. We have always been more than what you chose to see. The demonstration concluded. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had just rewritten the fundamental understanding of technological potential. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Concordance echoed with a tension that felt almost tangible. Delegates from hundreds of civilizations sat in a vast circular chamber, the holographic displays showing the culmination of humanity's unprecedented diplomatic and technological emergence. Ambassador Michael Okonkwo stood at the center, a single human figure that now represented a fundamental shift in galactic power dynamics. Behind him, the quantum communication networks hummed with possibilities that redefined the very concept of interstellar diplomacy. We are not seeking domination, Okonkwo began, his voice calm and measured. We are seeking a fundamental restructuring of how civilizations interact. The proposed new galactic charter lay before the Assembly, a document that would rewrite centuries of diplomatic protocols. Full recognition of human sovereignty, equal representation in galactic decision-making bodies, comprehensive protections for frontier settlements, a complete overhaul of existing power structures. Krelvor, the primary diplomatic representative of the quantum collective, slowly processed the implications. The technological demonstrations had shattered every preconceived notion about human capabilities. What had once been viewed as a marginalized species was now revealing itself as a sophisticated, complex civilization with capabilities that defied previous understanding. Captain Elena Rodriguez watched from a secure communication hub, her strategic team analyzing every microscopic interaction. This was more than a diplomatic meeting. This was the culmination of a carefully orchestrated plan decades in the making. Dr. Rebecca Okoye's strategic analyses continued to flow through quantum communication networks. Each diplomatic interaction was a carefully placed strategic move, designed to reshape fundamental galactic power dynamics. The proposed charter, Okonkwo continued, represents a new approach to interstellar cooperation, not based on technological superiority, but on mutual understanding and shared progress. The holographic displays began to show detailed analyses, the systematic marginalization of human settlements, the barriers that had been deliberately placed to limit human expansion, a comprehensive record of diplomatic manipulations that had kept humanity confined and overlooked. Representatives from the Zarkith Imperium found themselves in an unprecedented position. Their military might had been completely dismantled. Their diplomatic standing was in complete ruins. The very civilization they had attempted to destroy now held their future in its hands. Reparations will be comprehensive, Okonkwo stated. Not just monetary compensation, but a complete restructuring of diplomatic and economic interactions. The U.S. Prometheus maintained a subtle presence in the star system, not as a threat, but as a silent guarantor of the diplomatic proceedings. Its quantum communication networks monitored every interaction, every potential diplomatic nuance. Dr. Akira Chen's technological revelations continued to resonate through the assembly. The adaptive technologies, the quantum communication networks, the fundamental reimagining of technological potential. Humanity was offering not just a new diplomatic approach, but a complete transformation of galactic technological understanding. We are presenting an opportunity, Ambassador Okonkwo concluded, for a truly collaborative galactic civilization. The vote was unprecedented. Not a traditional diplomatic process, but a comprehensive reassessment of existing power structures. The Quantum Collective's representative was the first to confirm. Then the diplomatic teams from multiple star systems. A new galactic charter was being written, one that recognized humanity not as a marginalized species, but as a full equal partner in interstellar civilization. Captain Rodriguez allowed herself a subtle smile. The plan had worked perfectly, not through complete military conquest, but through a comprehensive strategic approach that reshaped fundamental galactic understanding. As the final votes were tallied, one thing became absolutely clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had just rewritten the rules of interstellar existence.